So this is a very extremely special episode of Advice for Buffoons.
I think we say that every week.
This is episode 38. And 38 is a very special number because it is the 38th of May.
It's like 88 if there was a bit of more
We
line
don't like
on the
88.
3.
We don't like 88.
Execute order 88.
No, that's 66. We don't like 88 for a different reason.
Oh, it's that bad one. I know. I know.
Yeah.
I played
So
COD.
so that yeah. So this is we got this is the great you saw the thumbnail. It's actually a good thumbnail this week. You're going to like it when you see it.
Is that the one that I sent?
It's in there. It's not it, but it's definitely in there. We're not gonna pull it up though because I want to break the habit of us googling things every 10 seconds.
It's fun. It's part of the
So
charm.
right off the top of the episode, we actually do. We had a caller. We do have a call that came in. So let's.
Fan mail?
Advice for Buffoons messaging machine, which I didn't know you guys had such a thing. I didn't know these things still
Yeah,
were
you did. You
around.
actually did it.
That's kind of 90s, but whatever. Anyway, I just have a simple request. I am Rachel Rich's #1 fan, and I think it's actually kind of disrespectful that you all have been like ignoring my comments,
We haven't been ignoring.
ignoring me. I DM'd you multiple times about this.
I didn't get a DM.
I got them.
And I also think it's disrespectful
I got them. And I
that
did
you
ignore
call her
them.
the wrong name. Rachel Briggs, Rachel Bridges, Rachel whatever the fuck
I
Cheesy
thought that was
Penguins
her. I
keeps
thought
calling her. I think it's disrespectful. And you know what? Y'all better get Rachel on that show,
we
or I
should
will
get
kill
Rachel.
you bitches. I do not
I've-
negotiate with terrorists.
We've gotten Rachel.
I don't
Well,
negotiate with bitch terrorists. And you know what? You are bitch terrorists. So this is what we're dealing with. So get her on the show, or I will
You
do
just said you
horrible,
don't
horrible
negotiate.
things. Am I clear?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
I hope I'm clear.
you are.
Okay, so that was one of our fans,
But we're bitch terrorists, so do we negotiate?
bitch lasagna.
Because bitch lasagna. Oh
That
my
shit was
god.
racist.
It was racist.
That shit was racist.
And then like a month later, he said the N-word.
I think it was like a month before. I think it was a few months before that on the bridge.
Do you think his kids are gonna watch that and be like, "My dad's
In the
a
video,
hero."
he says, "I'm sorry, but come on."
"I'm sorry, but oh my god, it's
I'm
so
sorry,
true."
but come on, it's true. No, man, that's not right.
Do you think behind closed doors he says it to
Oh, yeah.
Marcia?
Oh
all the
yeah,
time?
he's like, Marcia, you're being a blank. So that was one of our fans that called in about Rachel Briggs.
Let's get her on next episode.
Yeah, no, not next episode because
Why
next
not?
episode because next episode you're graduating from university or something.
So?
Because
Who gives a shit?
yeah, because we'll be fucking busy.
Oh yeah.
You'll be We won't have time to have a guest.
Mm.
You'll be busy.
Well, we can still have it next episode.
No, because next episode you're graduating from next episode you're busy. I actually already worked
Next
this out.
week, you mean?
Yeah, which is next episode.
Yeah, we'll have a busy weekend, unfortunately.
And
And Rachel Ridges.
So
maybe the weekend after for sure, right? We have nothing going on.
I'm not sure. I'll have to get back to you on that. I did tell Rachel Briggs that at the latest July 1st Canada Day weekend.
That's a month from now.
Yeah, I said at the latest.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Are we that busy?
Yes, we're very very busy.
We do work full time. This is our side gig.
We're very well. This is my main gig. We're very busy, so we'll get Rachel Briggs on. Oh, jeez, the battery's fucking dying. Fuck's sakes.
Can
So
you not charge it?
we might have to stop recording mid episode and then charge the camera and then come back and continue
Dude.
recording.
Why don't you plug your camera in?
Because that's not how it works. You don't plug the camera in. You plug the camera in to upload photos. When you charge the mic, don't do that. You're gonna peak the mic. Okay, so we might have to turn the camera off and then
Let's
come
just say
back.
goodbye now. in case it
No,
cuts
no, no,
out.
no, 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 no. Because the camera's not dying. It's just low. It's medium battery. See, look.
Okay. Well,
See,
if
look.
it gets low, let's turn it off.
Well, yeah. If it gets low, we'll turn it off, charge, and then come back.
Okay.
But if that shouldn't happen, hopefully, it's because it's no. The problem is not that I don't charge the.
It is. It is
No,
the problem.
no, you don't understand. You don't understand. You're not paying attention. The problem is not that I don't charge it. The problem is that I leave the camera on. So I don't. I leave the camera on by accident. I take out the battery and then I put the battery back in, so it continues draining battery while it's in my closet.
That's even worse.
Yeah, I know, but it's an accident.
Okay.
Okay, so we got some questions. Tyler, this one is from Anonymous as usual.
Hello.
Actually, one's from Catherine. Tyler, can rabbits sip lean? What about just one sip?
Lean. Lean is Sprite and NyQuil.
No, it's cough syrup, but it usually has codeine in it.
Maybe one sip, I think. I mean, my rabbit had a bunch of stuff. My rabbit ate steak once, so I think one little sip of lean. Because you have to think a little rabbit sip is like less than a drop of water.
Yeah, but you're also forgetting that steak is not codeine.
Yes.
Codeine is a prescription painkiller, and a rabbit is just a rabbit.
Yeah, but they have a kidney.
Can rabbits
I
sip
think.
lean? What about just one sip? I think just one sip is probably fine.
I
Once
think the rabbit
again,
would go in for more though.
I'll say this: we aren't veterinarians. Do not take this as official advice.
Well, you're not, but I'm a rabbit expert, and I know these things.
Well, you're not an expert. You
Yeah.
haven't even finished reading the Wikipedia page.
Yes, they have.
Okay, so why are they not rodents?
Because their teeth.
Because why?
Because they have molars. They have more teeth than rodents.
They have an extra incisor.
Yeah.
That's not a molar.
They just have more teeth.
Yeah, but it's not a molar. Also, they're shaped different too. That one to me is the glaring issue.
Yeah, they don't have a long tail.
They got big, huge leg.
Yeah. They're lagomorphs.
But not all rodents have big, long tails either. Think about the capybara.
It insults me that they get joined in with rodents.
I've heard a lot of people call rabbits rodents. Oh, that stupid rodent.
It's not right.
Hold on, do I have like a? Am I looking sick?
Stop.
Come on, you know it's doing something for you.
Can wabbits have a
A
tiny,
tiny bit of lean as a treat.
No, not as a treat.
For medicine, they can.
They can have one sip.
For medicine, not as a treat.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if lean is medicine.
Lean is medicine if you are feeling bad. Actually, that's not true.
It's medicine for the
That's
soul.
not true because codeine painkillers are a downer. They don't make you feel better. They're a mood suppressant, if anything. And you should not use painkillers as a mood suppressant because that can kill you.
What if your rabbit is anxious?
Painkillers won't help them calm down.
Maybe codeine will.
Codeine felt like getting a hug.
That's sad.
How's that sad? I had my teeth removed. I had to take it.
Yeah, but that it made you feel that way.
How's that sad? You should be happy.
Because it's like emulating love. It's
Well, it's
not
not
real.
emulating love. It's just taking so much pain away because it's a prescription painkiller.
That's the saddest thing to me when people are like, the drugs felt like the love I never had. It's like,
Give me a break.
that's fucked up.
Give me a break.
Yeah, okay. No, they cannot have it as a treat because a treat implies regularity. A sip, maybe.
No, that's not true. A treat only implies regularity if you have treats every day, which you do.
Rabbits get treats daily.
They shouldn't. Stop
Yeah,
scratching
they
your
do.
leg. They shouldn't get them every single day.
I do.
Okay, so next question.
Recently I've been putting bits of fruit outside every day for
it's
the rabbits,
always
and it's
gone?
always gone. Yeah.
So we actually do have to kind of lightning around these questions. Let's say hypothetically, I've been a bad friend accidentally. How does one become better friends? So this one actually got resolved in the DMs. This one got resolved in the DMs.
Mm-hmm.
This one got taken to the DMs. I would say my official advice is treat your friends with respect and grace and be understanding of yourself too. You know, you're not
Well,
evil.
that's good, like to prevent it. But if you're accidentally a bad friend,
you gotta
I think
gotta
you have
approach
to-
it with respect and grace.
I guess.
Because you gotta go and say, hey, you know what? I screwed up and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But you also have to understand on your end, why did I do that? And be kind and fair to yourself. Because sometimes you just fuck up and you don't mean to be bad.
Usually, if someone pisses you off, there's reasons on your half and their half for why it happened.
What you do is you apologize for your behavior and you look at yourself and figure out, okay, what caused this? What triggered this? Let's say
I get pissed off at you all the time.
let's say I made a comment about yellow goo.
Yeah.
Right? What triggered that comment? I was having fun.
You have an HD attack.
I was having an ADHD attack. I was having a little bit of fun. But the behavior was yucky. And so you got to say, I'm sorry, that was yucky that I said that. I won't. I'll be a little more chill next time. Let's say. Let's say you just hypothetically, like I didn't, but if you did, that maybe you shouldn't talk about yellow goo.
You have to admit, sometimes the goo jokes are a little gross.
Sometimes they're also hilarious. But there's a time and a place.
Yeah, like when you're talking about aliens.
If someone's not taken to the goo jokes, you got one goo joke. If they don't like it, you don't do another one.
Yeah, 3
Um,
strikes, you're out.
my question is, why is it so? Yeah. How does one become better friend? Just try to understand what causes the bad friend, the quote unquote bad friend behavior.
For every
Try
conflict,
to address it and be kind and fair to both parties because you care about each other and you love each other. So try to approach it from there. Of Try to approach it from I want to resolve this issue, not I want to get even or I need to justify why I did this. Right?
that's good advice for buffoons.
That is a
The
good advice.
for every conflict you resolve with your friend, even if it's a nothing thing, you grow more as a result.
That is not always true.
Is it not?
I've had friends where every conflict made us more vile.
Well, then you're not
Like it's a
resolving it
pollutant.
well.
Yeah, but it's like a pollutant.
What do you mean?
Okay, think about this. Do you think when you throw a stone at a glass window, that if the glass can endure the stone, that the glass gets stronger? Nah,
Mm,
man, that's getting to a breaking point.
yeah, but I don't think relationships are like that.
Sometimes they are.
Because if it's getting worse over time, you're not resolving the
You've
conflict
never seen a
properly.
relationship that is like a glass?
Well, yeah, of course I have.
Yeah, sometimes it's like that.
But what I'm
Stop
saying
scratching.
is that's not how you should be resolving conflict.
You want to be a tree.
Yeah, like
Because if a tree gets injured, it grows over.
you can stop a conflict. You can say like stop doing that, but that you're not resolving why they did it.
The resolution is understanding why you both acted that way and apologizing for the behavior and
Yeah,
trying to rectify it.
you both grow as people as a
We
result.
got a lightning round. We got a light. My question is, why is it so smoky outside? Gross.
Because
Because there's wildfires. That one is actually open and shut.
Elon Musk.
There's wildfires, and part of it is because of climate change. Part of it is because they're not doing controlled burns. Part of it is because it's very dry, and we can't resolve. I don't know what to do. I can't fix this. Um, although donate to people who are displaced, support First Nations, drop some donations for people who are displaced, clothes, food, money, that kind of stuff.
How many more years do you think it'll be until every summer in Canada is so smoky and apocalyptic that they start selling like air masks that
I
everyone just
think
wears?
that I think that I was actually looking into buying an oxygen like one of those. Remember what I was talking about? Should I buy this? And you were like, no, don't buy that. You remember that?
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought that'd be cool because then I could be like a
cyberpunk.
like I'd be like it'd be like a cool. I don't know. How do I keep to a routine without falling out of it? Example:
I don't know how to answer this.
exercise. I think we've actually answered a couple questions like this. My advice, and this doesn't work for everyone, especially if you have like ADHD or something. This can be difficult advice to follow. But my advice is start small and do it every single day. Like you might not.
I can't.
Are you seriously eating granola bar into the microphone?
Yeah.
So if what you're going to try to do is you're going to say I want to get my life back on track, and so starting on Monday I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to go for an hour. What might be a lot more realistic for you or whoever wants to do this is instead of going to the gym every single day, do 5 push-ups in the morning. Do 5 jumping jacks. Go for a short walk. Use the stairs instead of the elevator. You don't have to change your life, but you just have to make better choices than you did yesterday. That's all you have to do. And if you keep doing that, eventually you'll get to the point where you want to be with enough work. And you have to keep on top of it, but you just have to start small with these little instruments, and you have to sort of orient your life around making these small changes. At least for me.
I've when before we've answered this question, I kind of agreed with you. Like, yeah, routine is good for human nature, but I don't think it's in my nature because I've tried doing these things. I can't do it. So my advice is to gaslight yourself into punishing. Be like, I have to. Like, I will be a badass bitch if I have a clean room. Everyone will like me.
I thought you were saying I'm bad if I don't have a clean room.
Well, that too.
No, that's bad. That's bad. That's bad. You don't want to orient. You
Yeah,
should
you don't
not
wanna
orient
punish yourself.
habits around guilt or shame because then when you inevitably fail or you have a tough day, now you feel like complete dog shit, and that doesn't motivate you.
If you say like hot girlies have clean rooms, I'm like, okay, I want to be a hot girly.
Discipline consistently precedes success.
People want to be a part of something. And so if you're like, I'm a part of the hot girl club who
Okay.
has a clean room,
You're
you
saying
want to be a part
you're
of it.
saying what you should do is restructure your identity around somebody who does blank.
Yes.
I'm saying you should build daily routines
They're
through
both.
small behavior.
I think your advice is probably better and more practical, but I think
No, restructuring identity and saying I am a person who does blank or a person who does blank does this.
yeah.
That is also good advice. Um, it's tough because neither of us are mental health experts and neither of us are filled. Well, I have some good habits, but I'm not an expert on habit forming behavior. And that book Atomic Habits is complete dog shit. Don't read
Oh
it.
my god, I read like
That
4 pages and
sucks.
was like, this is
It's
like
the
listening to Lord.
it is a book for
Pretentious.
it is a book for morons because you are going to a guy who says he's an expert in habits and literally all the research he did was just go on Reddit and be like, so how do you guys build habits? It's like you're an idiot. You're stupid as fuck. So
Yeah, I don't know. I might not be qualified to give advice because my room is a pigsty and I've been trying to get myself to clean it for months now.
I think you should start with little stuff.
I tried,
I don't think you
and
do.
then I lie on the floor.
I think what you do is you're like, I'm gonna clean my whole room today, and then you
Yeah.
start picking up. You're like, and then you get to the closet. You're like, I can't do it.
Well, what happens is I look in my closet and I look at it and I go, oh, this is where this was, and then I start reading that book, and then I'm
Yeah,
like,
but-
too tired to do there any more cleaning.
Yeah, that's. I think you might be lazy.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I'm saying, okay, but maybe you're like, okay, today what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean the. Let's say hypothetically, there's feces under your bed. You say, I'm gonna clean a shopping bag full of feces. That's what I'm gonna do today, and that's the one task you do. And then
I did clean my bed.
odds are by the end of the task, you'll probably have done more than you set out to do, and it's not big enough because you don't want to be discouraged from the task by the anxiety of doing the task. Because now you're borrowing pain from the future and still fucking up. So you want to start small. You want to mentally reward yourself and saying, you know what, it's a success that I do this. But if you don't do it, there's a reason for that. It's tough. I mean, and that's not perfect advice, but I mean, I hope it's helpful.
I did clean the rabbit poop under my bed.
That's good. Well,
But-
I didn't. This is hypothetically speaking, of course.
It made me kind of sad because like when one of your pet dies and then like you find remnants of them like bite marks or like bits of their fur lying around. If you clean it up, that's like the last time you'll clean that up, you know.
But it's also poop under your bed.
Yeah. But, same idea.
But I mean, their waste is not what made them a being. What made them a being was their connections with people, and the connection doesn't cease to exist. The memory of the connection still exists through you.
Yeah. That's true.
So they're the most powerful remnant of their being still exists. Their poop was just garbage they ate and then shat out.
Well, it was grass.
Well, it's gross. And also, rabbits eat their own poop. So
Sometimes.
that was his food. You were cleaning his food up.
This isn't much of a lightning round.
Yeah. Yeah, no, not at all, really.
That's okay. The show is about advice.
That's true, and we almost never have questions. This is week 6 without Rachel Riches. It's actually pronounced Rachel Briggs. Item Man Revolution. We already addressed that one. When is Rachel Richmond's going to be on podcast? We latest July 1st.
Mm-hmm.
There's always crazy kids spitting at the zoo. Stop scratching.
There is.
This one's from our good friend Asbestos. There's always crazy kids spitting in the zoo. I went with a friend several years ago, and he was spat on by some devil child. Maybe it was the same one, cursed to never age.
I think kids who spit should have their tongue cut off.
I think if you spit on the camel or the llama, you should get spanked till you bleed.
By a camel.
I think a camel should spit on you till you bleed.
I think if you spit at an animal in the zoo, you should be forced to stand in front of a camel and be spat
And
upon.
let the camel spit and poop on you.
Yeah.
We
saw camels at the zoo, and they were trying to get it into the cage, so they were like putting lettuce like in a trail.
Just throwing lettuce, and then the camels were just eating it and then walking back.
They're like trying to push him in,
Scratching.
and he would like eat the lettuce, but then he'd look back at his friend and he'd be like, "Oh, I don't want to go this way."
And then he'd back up. He'd just walk backwards.
He's kind of cute.
So this is the great debate. Welcome to the great debate.
Is that how you get me out of bed in the morning? You're like, "Come on, we're gonna have tea."
Yeah, kind of. So this is the great debate. So we have 3 topics of debate. There's 3 topics, and I'll let you choose between them. Laziness at work,
That's a good one.
porn at work, dating your teachers
Mm.
after graduation.
These aren't very PC.
No, well, this is advice for buffoons. We don't we take your sensitive ass back to call her daddy.
Why don't we start?
This is advice from Buffoons. We clowning this motherfucker. Take your sensitive ass back to the Call Her Daddy podcast.
Fuck that podcast. That's the podcast for girls.
Yep. I saw this podcast. It's like sexing while dying. It was like a book. It was like a podcast. It was like a 4-episode podcast about this girl who was dying of cancer, and she just decided to have as much sex as possible.
It's like,
and I'm like, this is 4 episodes. How is this a podcast? I should have 500. I want somebody who's dying for 500 episodes.
Before I read Fault in Stars, I thought the premise was just like
they're both
she wants to get some dib before she
No,
dies.
that's not what it's about. She's like 14. I thought she lives
They're supposed to be 14, but they look like 28.
because it's a movie.
Yeah.
I thought she lives though. I thought he dies and she lives. Those spoilers, but
I mean, they both have cancer.
doesn't she
Oh
live?
yeah, she gets like treatment.
She survives and he dies.
Yeah.
And she's like
Spoilers.
She's like Ansel Elgort, why do you put the cigarette in your mouth? He's like, wow.
That movie.
He's like, who knows?
Oh yeah, that is that guy.
And he's a predator.
Yeah.
He's actually a sex pervert, but
it's kind of attractive though.
they're like, why you put the cigarette in your mouth? He's like, there's something in it that's yummy.
Codeine and fentanyl for me.
Smoking codeine cigarettes is crazy.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
But yeah, that movie did its rounds on Tumblr.
Yeah, because it was John Green.
People were really into like
who wrote it, Hank or John?
Tom Green, I think.
Not Tom Green.
John Green wrote it. People were really into like emo girl, like reading.
She wasn't emo in that.
Like Pinterest aesthetics of like being a reading girl.
Dark academia.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're recording. So which topic do you want to do? Laziness, porn at work, or dating your teacher?
Let's keep it vanilla for the first one. Let's go laziness at work.
I was hoping you wouldn't pick that one.
Why?
Because it's boring. Okay, so you'll be heads, I'll be tails.
I want to be tails.
Fine, then you'll be tails and I'll be
I like
heads.
being the beaver tail.
So if it lands on tails, you'll be anti. If it lands on heads, I'll be anti.
Okay. You dropped the nickel.
I didn't drop it.
You dropped it again.
No, I didn't. Heads.
Okay.
I'll be anti.
Okay. So I'm pro laziness.
Yeah. So you're gonna start. You're gonna make your opening statement, and then I'll make my opening statement and retort. So you're pro lazy.
Yep.
You're pro laziness. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
A little too close to the mic. A little too close.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not limping out of the office, were you even working?
Keep reading.
Oh,
It's
I keep
not
going.
done.
We live in a world that rewards sacrifice, and the ultimate proof of dedication is pain.
Making the ultimate sacrifice.
Sore wrists? That means you type like a warrior. Bad back? That's the price of carrying your team. Blurred vision at 2 a.m.? Congratulations.
Fuck.
You're part of the elite.
Work until 2 at the frick.
Do I keep going?
Yeah, man. It's you read until here.
Well, I don't know. That's a weird format.
It's not weird.
True commitment means pushing past limits. Athletes do it. Soldiers do it. Why not workers?
Mm-hmm.
When you pour your energy, your health, your very soul into your job, you're not just working, you're making history. While others clock out at 5 and talk about work-life balance, we dig in. We stay late. We bleed for the brand because excellence has a cost, and we're willing to pay it in carpal tunnel, caffeine overdoses, and stress-induced hospital visits. So yes, we support working until you break, because only then do you prove what you're really made of. Thank you.
I can see why people use this to cheat on their essays.
It sounds
legit. But I'm sorry.
We dig in.
Sorry, no, sorry. I mean, I like what you wrote here. That's what I meant to say.
That's such a strange phrase.
We dig in. Like because you're like, it's like when you're under assault, and it's like, all right, lads, dig in. It's like in war. It's like you got to dig into your position.
I know the
but I think it's a fun because people compare work to war.
Okay.
So
this is anti.
So you wrote that.
Yeah.
That was impressive. So this is
your argument for being anti-lazy.
It's a little confusing. I don't really know what I kind of. This is a little confusing, but I don't think I wrote it very well. I think I kind of made this I think it makes more sense later on. Ladies and gentlemen, let's stop pretending being lazy at work isn't a moral failing. It is a moral failing. It's a survival strategy. In a world where companies demand more while paying the same, or going above and beyond, often just leads to more unpaid expectations. Laziness is self-preservation. It's about doing what's necessary, no more, no less. And guess what? That's enough. Being lazy protects your mental health. It keeps you from burning out. It teaches boundaries. It says, my time and energy are not infinite. I will not sacrifice them for appearances or empty hustle. Laziness also shines a light on inefficiencies. The lazy worker finds a way to get the job done with the least amount of effort. Not of apathy, but out of intelligence. The F student, you'll be working for the F student. Why take 10 steps when you can take 3? So yes, we proudly support being lazy at work because working smarter, setting boundaries, and resisting grind culture isn't laziness, it's common sense. So now I'm going to kind of retort to one of the things you said here. We bleed for the... So you say, we bleed for the brand because excellence has a cost. Okay. Well, when you pay a cost, there's also a benefit. Now,
Surplus value.
It's unclear what the benefit is to working until you have carpal tunnel. You say, because it proves what you're really made of. Who are you proving it to?
Yourself.
Don't interrupt when I'm talking. That's how debate works.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Were you ever in debate? Did you ever do a debate?
No.
Oh, so you don't know how this works.
I'm scared of people.
No. Okay, so in debate, you have... Stop.
My feet are cold.
You have the opening statement, then the other person has an opening statement, makes a retort, then you retort, then it flips back, and I make the last retort. So it's like 2-3 turns or some bullshit. I think we'll do 2 turns because I want to get to the other topic. Don't touch the mic. Who are we proving this to? Your boss? Yeah, your boss who's exploiting you for surplus value. You're proving it to the brand, the brand who underpays its workers and takes advantage of them. The proof of dedication is pain. Okay, if the proof is pain, think about this. When you proof bread, eventually you get a yummy treat. When you get proof of pain, you know what you get? Nothing. That was my opening statement and opening retort.
You ask who you prove it to. You know, in this world, external motivation provides you emptiness. You know what provides you meaning and fulfillment? Internal motivation. Who better to prove your values and ethics to than yourself? If you can prove to yourself that you can endure the most life-wrenching tasks and come out stronger and have endured it and be able to provide for your family, that's all the motivation you need to know that you did your best. Also, it's like you don't really have a choice. You have to.
All
right.
right.
Starve.
Let me say this. You say it's not about proving it to anyone else. It's about proving it to yourself. This flies in the face of your opening statement where you say, congratulations, you're part of the elite. You compare yourself to an athlete, to a soldier, and comment on the making of history.
Herstory.
You must admit that this has nothing to do with internal dedication or providing for your family, and everything to do with the sense of obligation to your work that your work implants in you through the manipulative actions of the brand and of the supervisor. But you say you're supporting your family. Okay, the lazy worker also supports his family, but while still having energy to take care of his babies and make love to his wife and finish inside of her deep. Whereas if you have carpal tunnel, you can't even go beast mode on the you-know-what spot because your fingers are broken.
But you know what? If you...
I'm not done yet.
Okay.
Also, no, I was done.
Okay. The worker that slacks off has to live 8 hours of his workday knowing the dread of that there's always more work overlooming. The worker who completes his work because he's a hard worker is able to sit around the rest of the day because he's finished all his tasks and then go home and say, I did a lot of stuff today and I am proud of myself. And then the wife would be like, oh my God, you're such a hard worker.
Except
Give me that day.
except for the fact that you state that the hard worker stays late, bleeds for the brand, and is at work until 2 a.m. How can one return home to his family if he's at work until 2 a.m.?
Making that OT.
Because he's back at work, or she, or they, is back at work at 8 a.m. So you go home, you sleep, and you return. That's no time left for your family, no time left for your beautiful husband, no time left for anything except employment. Additionally, working overtime implies that the work wasn't done. If overtime is required to complete the work, then the work was impossible to complete within the regular scheduled hours of work by design.
To that I say, you get that double time OT. You got more money to give to your beautiful wife so she can have what she wants. And then you can say, well, I worked at OT, so I don't need to work as much. Maybe I'll take Friday off.
Well, okay. Well, that's the end of it though, because it's only three. It's two. It's we each get 3 turns. So that's the end of the debate. So that was the laziness at work debate.
That was tough. I was not happy about having
No,
to
I was
defend
kind of
working.
mad at some of the things you were saying.
Yeah.
But you know what? At the end of the day, you're not.
I think I made an argument.
You're not debating the person. You're debating the topic.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So let's shake hands on that one.
That might have been the most liberal thing
Let's
I've done.
shake hands on that one. I honestly do support being lazy at work.
Me too.
So now, do you want to pivot to pro porn, or do you want to pivot to porn, or have it our teachers?
Let's see porn for last.
Okay, that's the funniest one.
I know. That's why.
Topic 3. So do you want to be or okay? So
Flip
you're
the coin.
so if it lands on you, you are pro teachers. If it lands on me, if it lands on tails, you're pro teacher. If it lands on heads, you're anti teacher.
Okay. What? It's tails.
So you're pro teacher.
Yep.
Okay. So you will go from here to here.
Okay.
Okay. And then I'll do the
Topic 3.
Well, don't say topic 3 because for them it's topic 2.
Okay. Topic 2.
Dating your teachers.
Trying to hit up your teachers after graduation. Ladies and gentlemen, let's stop pretending we didn't have that one teacher.
True.
That
Oh,
one.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's true.
No. Yeah.
That one who made you suddenly care about history, or calculus, or just
gym
showing up to
class.
class. Yeah, showing up to gym class.
wanting to fuck the gym teacher might be the evilest one.
The only reason you don't skip gym is to see that gym teacher
That fat gym teacher
in their oversized sweats.
and they big ass sweatpants
Yeah.
and flip flops,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see their athlete's foot.
That's why you go. And
I
now
want to suck it out of you. I want to
Okay.
suck out the ringworm.
I gotta read. And now that you've walked across that stage and grabbed that diploma, game on. Here's the truth. Once you graduate, it's open season. No more grade books, no more office hours, just 2 adults, 1 shared past, and a whole lot of extra credit waiting to happen. Think about it. You know your intellectual side and watched you grow? Who challenged you, inspired you, maybe even gave you detention just to keep things spicy? That's not a crush. That's a slow
what?
burn love story waiting to ignite.
Who gave you detention just to keep things spicy?
Mm-hmm.
Detention. Oh, I'm just gonna make a note. Can you just pause while I make a note here?
Okay. That's a good note. So why not shoot your shot?
See my note.
Detention.
What does this one say?
I can't read that.
Detention equals pedophile.
So why not shoot your shot? Slide into those DMs with a, hey, I'm not your student anymore. Winky face emoji. Let's see where it goes. Life's too short to wonder what if, especially when your former teacher might just be wondering the same thing. Class dismissed.
That is straight up grooming.
Date request.
That's actually crazy style grooming.
No, you're 2 adults. There's no grooming happening.
No, well, that's okay. We might have to run through the definition. Ladies and gentlemen, and anyone else, let's be absolutely clear.
Do we have a jury?
Dating your former teacher, completely inappropriate. Terrible idea.
Ooh.
You should never. Don't interrupt.
You interrupted me.
You should never, under any circumstance, pursue a relationship with someone who shaped your mind, challenged your thinking, and helped you become the person you are today.
Yeah, I'd do that with you.
I mean, just imagine
Did
being
you
in a
groom me?
relationship with somebody who already understands your strengths, who believes in your potential, and who probably proofread your college essay. That kind of emotional support and intellectual chemistry is dangerous stuff. And let's not forget the age difference. What's a few years between two consenting adults who bonded over literature or quantum physics? Unacceptable. No one wants a relationship built on deep respect and ambition. Plus, the scandal of telling your friends, yeah, we met in class, but not like that. The horror of a love story with a great dinner party anecdotes and a slow burn timeline is highly inappropriate. I strongly advise dating your teacher, even if you're both adults, no longer in a student teacher relationship and totally into each other, because who wants that kind of connection, maturity, and passion? Definitely not you. Thank you.
I do.
Okay, well, that's not
I want it.
it's not your turn yet. So, uh, I might have seemed a little conflicted in my opening statement, and I hope that isn't misconstrued. That I am against this, and I'll say this: what some of the points you made definitely implied a degree of grooming on behalf of the teacher. If the teacher's keeping you at detention to make things spicy, that teacher is a child. That teacher is a predator, because things are not supposed to be spicy while you're a student. They're supposed to become spicy afterwards, and you don't want it to be spicy during, because that means you're a victim. But if it's after, that just means you're having fun.
Are you done?
The detention. No, I'm not done.
Okay.
Still retorting. The one who suddenly made calculus or just showing up to class. You graduated. Open season.
The court is not impressed.
It knows your intellectual side and watched you grow. Watching you grow? That sounds a lot like grooming to me. And two consenting adults, let us not forget that there's also the vector of exploitation, of a What did you just do?
Press that button. No, I pressed this button.
You didn't press any button. You just muted your mic. Don't press it again.
Pressed this
don't
button.
touch it. Don't touch that. Stop touching it.
Sure.
Yeah, you muted your mic. I unmuted it.
Okay.
There's the vector of vulnerability. Stop touching.
Well, it's not time off. My foot are asleep.
There's the vector of manipulation, exploitation, and vulnerability. Also, life's too short to wonder what if. Yeah, life is too short to be getting that fucked up, that Diddy blood shit.
Diddy blood.
Maybe you're a bloody Diddy blood. Ah ha ha ha.
You done?
Yeah. So now it's your turn to retort to shit I said.
Okay, so you're saying on all counts that the teacher is the groomer.
Well, your first. Okay, once again,
this is what you say
in
to
debate. Me. Part of the retort is attacking my opening statement.
It's rhetoric. That's what I'm doing.
No, you got to attack my opening statement.
I don't remember what it was.
Okay. Let's pretend that you wrote it down and made notes, and it's right here.
This here?
Oh my god, yes. Dude, this is the great debate.
Who wants that kind of connection, maturity, and passion in a relationship? Everyone. What do you think a relationship is? They all want it.
Oh, you got me.
Yeah, and like, you're saying on all accounts the teacher is a groomer, but this thing that I wrote is from my perspective. See, I find it exciting as a student, but we don't know that that was the intention of the teacher to, like, giving detention. I probably deserve detention. He's not doing it just because, like, they want to get with me. I don't know that. It's possible, but it's probably not true.
You hope.
I was probably just being punished for being normal. But, like...
I mean, you hope.
You hope, but you don't know.
Yeah.
And so by the time you're an adult, it's like, they haven't come after you yet. So, I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with you going after a teacher. Because the teacher is an adult now, and you're an adult now. And you can be like, remember when you gave me detention? It was crazy. Wait, but like, did you do that to keep things spicy? Because that's how I took it. And they can be like, that's not how I planned it, because I'm not a groomer, but if that's how you found it.
Is that your retort?
Yeah.
So, still, once again, it seems like the cornerstone of this relationship is that you have a pre-existing mentor guidance relationship, and the excitement and passion of the relationship originates from the fact that they once held a position of power over you. That is exploitative. It's creepy. Also, it's kind of gross. Um, and it doesn't matter how fucking tight that pencil skirt is. It don't matter if those buttons are about to explode. It don't matter if his motherfucking hair slicked back. He got that 5 o'clock shadow, and he got those glasses on the bridge of his nose, and he's saying, "You know, you did very well in my history class. You know, Daddy knows you did very well." It don't matter. It don't matter how exciting that is to you. The fact of the matter is, this is a relationship that is based on a rather sacred foundation of trust, guidance, respect, and understanding. And what you're doing is you're engaging with the corruption of this sanctimonious or not sanctimonious of this sanctified thing and turning it sanctimonious. And they did help you, and as I said in my opening statement, they helped you become the person you are today. And so now you're expecting and praying that they take advantage of that. And yeah, maybe that's fun. Maybe that's awesome, and it's all we think about. And we imagine her wearing glasses, and she got her hair tied up, and those buttons about to blow, and she looking bad as hell. But you just can't. You can't. It's not. You're not allowed. It's rotten. I'm done now.
Are you done?
Yeah, that's my last thing.
I'll say
that it's awesome.
I'll say that it's awesome. And if you're both adults, you both have the ability to consent to these things now.
Can I make a quick point?
No.
Please.
Okay.
Just because you can consent to something does not mean that it is morally upright or even reasonable.
Maybe, but you're okay in the eyes of the law.
That's
and
true.
There are worse things. There are worse things to worry about legally than two adults having things that they can consent to.
Deep penetration.
Yeah.
Or even just hand stuff.
And you know what? Sometimes the power differential is part of the excitement. It happens to a lot of people, and a lot of people stick with it. What more beautiful way to evolve a relationship?
Oh, the Prime Minister of France.
Yeah. What more beautiful way to evolve a mentor relationship than to fall in love with them?
Okay. So now we move on to topic 3, which is...
I felt wicked doing that.
Yeah. I think it would be kind of fire, but I still think it would be wrong and you really shouldn't do it.
Why have I been the bad guy in all of these?
Just luck. I think honestly, banging your teacher after you graduate would be fire, but you really shouldn't do it. It's fucked up and it is kind of gross. But I think it'd be awesome.
I think a one-night stand would be dope, but I think a relationship would be gross.
I think it's gross either way.
I'd bang my professors.
Yeah, well, but that's a little different too, because you're an adult when you go into the situation. They're adults, and the age gap
It's still
is
immoral.
Moral-ish.
They're in a mentor position.
Not if they're not your professor.
They can influence your grades.
Not if it's after you graduate.
That's true.
Okay, so this is porn at work.
Best one for last.
If it lands on heads, Tyler is pro. If it lands on tails, I am pro. You are pro porn at work.
Of course I am.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about honesty, and then you go into your spiel here. Let's start from here to here. Your thing.
Here?
Yeah. No.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about honesty. People are already watching porn on breaks, in bathrooms, behind minimized tabs.
What?
So instead of pretending it doesn't happen, let's ask, why is it taboo? Watching pornography at work could be viewed as a threat to not as a threat to productivity, but as a modern form of stress relief. It's fast, accessible, and for some, it's far more effective than that third coffee or a forced small talk break in the break room. A brief moment of personal pleasure could refresh the mind, reduce tension, and improve the mood. Similar to any other coping mechanism we don't question, like scrolling Instagram or taking a walk. Moreover, in increasing digital, remote, or isolated work environments, traditional boundaries Traditional boundaries between personal and professional are already blurred. The real issue isn't what people do on their private time, it's whether the work gets done. If performance is strong, does it matter what someone does during their break? So let's stop moralizing human nature. Watching porn at work, discreetly, privately, and responsibly, may just be another form of modern self regulation in an overstimulating world. Thank you.
That was crazy. I wish I could just get right into retorting, but I do have to do my opening statement first. I don't like that it keeps opening with ladies and gentlemen. Uh, Freaks. Well, I'm gonna start with Freakzillas. The workplace is a professional environment built on trust, respect, and mutual responsibility. Watching porn at work violates all three of those motherfuckers. First, let's be clear. The workplace is not private. It is a shared space, physical or virtual, where people of all backgrounds, introducing sexually explicit material, even privately, risks creating, I'll just skip the risk. It creates a hostile, uncomfortable, or even unsafe environment. It blurs the lines of professionalism and can open the door to legal and ethical violations. Second, it is a misuse of company time. I really don't care about that, but it is a misuse of company time and resources. Just as you wouldn't stream a movie or play video games, I would do that, actually. Engaging with pornographic content during work hours undermines focus, accountability, and productivity. It sends a message that personal gratification takes priority over the tasks you were hired to do. Finally, the normalization of watching pornography threatens workplace culture. It undermines maturity, respect, and discipline. If we accept this under the guise of stress relief, where do we draw the line? I don't think that's a good argument.
Where do we draw the line?
I don't like that argument. I don't like that argument. I think the line should be drawn in the argument. We're not here to debate personal choices made at home, but at work, boundaries matter. Respect matters, and professionalism must come first. Thank you. So I am going. The first thing I'm going to attack is the fact that you say people are already watching porn at work. That's a false premise.
No, it's true.
I don't think it's. I don't know if it's true, but I don't think you know if it's true either. I think that is I think that's a relatively baseless claim.
I watched Wolf in Wall Street, and it's my claim.
At work?
No, I've seen it.
I also think that workplaces are not becoming increasingly digital, but that is besides the point. I think about the city of Winnipeg. It used to be mostly remote. Now it's mostly in physical place.
The city of Winnipeg isn't a workplace.
Yes, it is.
It's like a bureaucratic mind palace.
Yeah, but
nothing happens.
Yeah, but number one, a lot happens. As you know, there were 200 blunders.
It's true.
You saw the episode.
That does happen.
So it says a brief moment could refresh the mind, reduce tension, improve mood. This doesn't account for the negative side effects that pornography has, which have been proven in multiple studies, and I could forward them to you if you'd like.
And do those negative side effects affect work, though?
Is the only vector or measurement of success work performance?
Yes.
Is it not moral duty?
No.
Is it not respect for your colleagues?
No.
Is it not respect for your surroundings?
No.
Number one, you're not your turn.
All right.
You say let's stop moralizing human nature. How can you claim that it is human nature to watch pornography when that shit has only existed since the 19th century? And don't say fertility statues, and don't say cave paintings, and don't say burlesque clubs, and don't say strip clubs, and don't say pornographic paintings.
So every example of porn in human history.
Porn. We'll say this: beating your shit. Okay, beating your shit to drawings or sexual content is human nature. Beating your shit is human nature, mostly. The porn industry and the exploitation of sex workers is not human nature. That is twisted and fucked up. I think maybe we can agree. Maybe you can say, anyways, I think you probably shouldn't watch porn at work.
Okay.
Now it's
You're done?
Yeah, now you can.
So in response to your opening statement, you say work is a professional environment built on trust, respect, and mutual responsibility.
Yeah, I think I said that.
No, man. Workplaces suck the soul out of you and have no respect for you.
So you should watch people getting their soul sucked out of them.
They steal your surplus value and they make you break your fingernails and they give you carpal tunnel.
Earlier, you seemed to say that carpal tunnel was good.
This is a different argument.
Oh, okay.
And so, what better way to get back at your boss than fucking beating your shit in the bathroom till
Till your shit bleed.
till you bleed, and
Ah!
and you're getting paid to have the ultimate sweetest pleasure.
Can you make the sound you would make if you're beating it till you bleed?
No.
Please.
Whoa. And so, yeah, watching porn at work does violate all those things, as it should, as she said.
As you said, Queen, as you said.
And let's be clear,
Yeah.
workplace is not private; it's a shared place. What are you talking about? The bathroom is the most private place in the whole world.
There's straight up gaps.
There should be no one in there. It should just be you and your porn and your meat.
iPhone, your laptop,
Yeah.
your
There should
tablet.
be no other people than that holy trinity of your meat, your computer, and yourself.
And let's be clear, this is more debate proctor thing. Let's be clear, when we're saying beat your meat, also if you have a vagina, that shit is meaty. That shit's made of flesh. If you're beating your meat and you're slapping your pussy around, yeah, that's meat too.
You see,
Agreed?
yeah, I agree. You say introducing sexually explicit material creates an unsafe environment for others. It blurs lines of professionalism.
Mm.
I watched Wolf of Wall Street, and they are much more productive because they have a release and they get right back into it. I would encourage cocaine use in addition to pornography to increase productivity
That isn't as okay.
because they would get so much done. And if all you care about is money, Leonardo DiCaprio was the richest motherfucker out there. They had the best productivity. And so it's actually a good business practice, and I think you're wrong.
Okay, are you
Are we doing one more retort?
Yeah, one more back and
Okay,
forth.
you can go then.
So, okay, the Wolf of Wall Street comment is crazy because at the end of the movie, he fucking gets arrested.
Nothing to do with work productivity.
Yes, it did because he was committing crazy fraud.
Well,
Okay, that's a horrible example because number one, he wasn't watching porn at work. Did he beat off at work in that movie?
yeah, he did.
Yeah, because the guy's like,
You gotta get those
you
numbers.
gotta get those numbers up.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So number one, he's committing crazy fraud. I don't think it's because he's beaten off at work, but I do think that degradation of professionalism and respect contributes to a lot of the inappropriate conduct that takes place in that movie. And that movie is rife with inappropriate conduct. That's why he's a wolf, because a wolf eats and hurts people. You don't want a wolf. You don't want a wolf running around because you say, "Oh, Wolf of Wall Street, Wolf of Wall Street." You want okay. You want a motherfucking wolf running around your workplace?
If they'll give me Versace Benz.
And the wolf is eating people. And now you have to think about the fact that the wolf is watching porn too. And you have a wolf watching porno, giving himself a syrupy paw job. And that's twisted.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want everyone, if you have been listening to this episode without headphones and you've made it this far and you still don't have headphones in, I do apologize for when I said porn at work and you didn't have headphones in. I am sorry for that because there is no warning on this episode that it will be inappropriate. I'm not going to put one, but if you don't have headphones on yet, what the hell are you doing? You got to put that shit on. You said something else, I think. Can you remind me one of the things you said?
No,
please?
I don't remember.
Okay. You said that the bathroom is a private place, and I agree that it should be. But the fact of the matter is that that motherfucker ain't. Because one, you got because you said you only have 3 things in the bathroom, right? You got your meat, your laptop, and porn.
Yeah.
Where are your headphones?
Fuck headphones.
Fuck headphones.
It's a private place.
Okay, so now you've got people you can walk into the bathroom, take a poop. They can hear you watching porn. They can hear your shit going as you beat it.
That's their problem.
And there's gaps in the bathroom stall.
That's their problem. I'm in the bathroom. It's a private moment.
The degree of privacy is not to the level that you imply that it is. And this is a problem with the bathroom, but it is also being aware of that problem and taking advantage of it is also gross.
I stand by my point.
I know that, well, it's a debate you're supposed to. And you say the workplace is not respect. Okay, maybe your boss doesn't respect you, but your colleagues are in the same position of exploitation and vulnerability that you are. And so now you're taking advantage of the fact that they cannot leave and forcing them to view, hear, and endure the presence of you beating your meat till you bleed. And they're there too, and they don't like that. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, in response to that, I'll say your coworkers aren't your friends.
True.
They're your rivals.
They can be. Especially
if you're working for commission. You want to gross them out. You take the loudest porn shots you can possibly have.
You're watching crazy alien back shots.
Yeah, you make them as comfortable as possible
Google
so
crazy
you can
alien
take their
back shots.
profit.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna Google this.
it's how you get ahead in this world, and I'm sorry that that's too much for you to bear witness to. But
You're not
it's-
responding to my opening statement anymore.
I don't remember what it was.
I know, but you're not doing that anymore. It's not your turn to do that anymore.
Okay. Yeah, what else do you say here? You say, if we accept this behavior under the guise of stress
That's
belief,
not okay.
where do we draw the line?
You're saying that we don't respond to the opening statement in
This
the
isn't
third
an
round.
opening statement.
That is my opening statement right there. Yeah, I can see you looking at my opening statement.
I'm talking about it down here.
Oh, that's my opening statement. You're responding to my opening statement. You don't
The
respond to
whole
opening
thing
statement.
is?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never done this before.
Yeah, you don't respond. The third round is just retorting to the second round.
Yeah, so basically, I would go crazy if I had to just like be normal all day at work, and I think you should be allowed to watch porn. And that's all I've got to say.
That's not a retort. That's a closing statement.
Why? Stop looking at alien back shots.
We totally forgot. We were supposed to do closing statements.
You said
too.
you didn't want to look at Google.
I know, but I wanted to look up alien back shots.
We have closing statements.
We were supposed to do a closing statement.
The battery's low.
Let me just do a quick closing statement. So porn at work is fucked up. You should slack off at work, crazy style, and you should not fuck your teacher, even if it would be so sweet and delicious to do so. That's not right.
You should work your ass off.
While watch, yep.
You should work your ass off, and you should watch porn while doing it. And then once you're done, you should go bang your teacher. Nasty style.
All right. Well, that was the great debate.
Yeah.
I honestly feel.
I feel like I won.
I think that was a really.
Who won?
I think I really think that was a really tight episode.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, till next time.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye-bye. Who won?
Oh yeah, leave a comment down below who won. If you could, and it'd be really cool if you did. If you could rank topic by topic and then choose an overall winner, that'd be fire.
And your reasoning.
I think you had a tough one. So please give Tyler a handicap because he consistently got forced to choose the ones that were it's doing explicitly fucked up stuff.
I was the bad guy.
So please give him an extra point. Give him a bad guy point. Bye bye.